Hello guys, as you might know, I've been playing Nameless Sword since the release of the game, both in speedrunning and raids scenarios, but recently my attention got to strategic sword as well. So today I'm making a video comparison between the two, showcasing the gear that I'm using, the rotation that I'm doing, and their strengths and weaknesses because I think they both have quite their own. So by the end of this video you should be able to pick whatever you like more. First off, I'm gonna show you the first build, which is the Nameless Sword with the Nameless Spear. I changed the spear from Heaven Quaker to Nameless just because in raids, Champion's Lock can be kind of useful to regain a bit of stamina, but it's not too important. You still can use any secondary here and it's almost the same. Inner ways, Sword Morph, Moral Chant, Battle Anthem, and I changed Invigorated Warrior for Bitter Season in a raid scenario because it's kind of hard to no hit a raid, and you might want this for more consistent damage. But for speed killing, I still recommend Invigorated Warrior. About the gear itself, for the weapon side, I recommend Jadeware. It's just good damage overall. And for the gear side, you have two options. The one that I prefer is Formbend, since the 2 extra seconds of Chi Shield is actually game changing, especially in raids where the boss might move out or disappear for a second to do a mechanic or something, and without this you're going to lose the second triple charged heavy. This basically means way more damage. The alternative is Ego Rise, and I recommend this only if you're struggling against like a campaign boss in legend difficulty or something where the extra defense may be useful there. So with strategic sword instead, you want the Heaven Quaker Spear, of course. Both weapons are very important in this build. Inner ways, you want Sword Horizon, Moral Chant again. Wolf Chaser's art is something that some people don't use for some reason, but it's extremely strong in this build. And the fourth inner way is kind of preference. I'm using Bitter Seasons again. The gear itself, I like to run Hawking for the left side because it's good damage, and here I actually use Ego Rise because you not only have a dot because of Dragon's Breath, but you also have the bleed dot, so it's a good combination. Now I'm going to show you the opener for each build, and I'm going to leave as well at the end of the video a couple of minutes of footage from both builds so you can see how it plays in longer fights. So I would like to tell you my personal opinion about the two builds. Nameless is simply easier to play. The rotation isn't strict, and if you make a mistake, it really doesn't matter too much. You can recover simply by skipping a step or simply being slightly delayed on your rotation, so it's very forgiving. Strategic, on the other end, is a very strict rotation, especially in raid content. I find it almost impossible to maintain a perfect rotation for an entire fight. The boss will move at some point, you'll get stunned, or maybe a mechanic will force you out of position, and this build suffers a lot from that. You might miss your Sober Sorrow of the Heaven Quaker Spear, and maybe you hit for 0 stacks, or even worse, you might miss on your Inner Track Slash the sword, and you apply 0 bleed, so you're forced to do the entire combo with 0 bleed on the boss, losing out on so much damage. And these things actually happen quite often in raids, and I know because they happen to me. It usually takes quite many attempts on each boss to get comfortable and anticipate these issues. I'm not saying it's impossible to play strategic sword perfectly, but it does for sure take more effort and you will likely mess up some combos during the run. In terms of enjoyment, I really like Nameless for trials speed kills. While in raids, I tend to prefer the strategic bleed build, despite its flaws, because I feel like it's more engaging in a way where with the Nameless build, you only feel like spamming the charge heavy attack and that's it. While with strategic, you're swapping between two weapons and doing way more things in my opinion, so it's more fun. About damage numbers, again, in raids, where the fights can last about 6-7 minutes or even 8 or 9, I found that the strategic build does slightly more damage overall, but again, it's harder and riskier to execute, so it's kind of a trade-off. If you play perfectly, you'll get slightly higher damage on strategic, but if the boss has a lot of downtime or movement, you might actually do better with Nameless. Both builds are extremely strong for high-end damage, so in the end it really comes down to preference and what you find more fun. I hope this cleared up your doubts about which sword playstyle fits you best. If you found this useful, please consider subscribing, it really means a lot to me. Bye.
紫薇，破圆。